Ekalpimos. What do you think that is?
A Greek island.
Not an island. More like a volcano.
Or a resort on the Costa Brava.
You just made it up. It does sound rather like a community, though. Anida, Walden, Ekalpimos.
I know what it is. It's like Erewhon. That's nowhere backwards.
You don't know the difference between an anagram and an inversion, do you? Why talk about it if you don't know?
Hey, I'm the one that quarrels with her, remember?
Erewhon is an anagram of nowhere. Ekalpimos is someplace inverted.
You don't think someplace sounds a bit American?
It's not going to be called someplace. It's going to be Ekalpimos.
A Fatal Inversion by Barbara Vine. Dramatized by Michael Bakewell, with Andrew Wincott as Adam, Matthew Morgan as Rufus, and Tariq Alibai as Shiva.
Where are we going to bury him?
On the other side of the lake, I thought. By the little wood. Did it go all right?
He didn't know a thing. I held him on my lap, and Trevis gave him the injection, and he died.
We couldn't have kept him any longer. Not with that career. It was too painful to watch, and it must have been hell for him.
Some people go through all this with kids. Can you imagine?
I've yet to hear of parents calling in the doctor to put their sick children down.
We'd better get on with it. I'll wrap him up in my raincoat.
Wait a minute. I've just remembered. What about the old Bierland graveyard? Why bury him in the little wood when the house already has an animal cemetery?
Why not? It must have been the traditional place for burying pets from Wyber's Hall.
I'd sort of like to think of him with those others, with Alexander and Pinto and Blaze.
They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their souls. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth.
Quite a literary lot they must have been. By what eternal streams? Pinto. Gone from us in 3 short years. Do you think Pinto was a water spaniel?
Or a pet otter. Where shall we put him?
Here, I should think. Next to Blaze.
Here goes. I can remember doing this sort of thing when I was a kid. Pet rabbits and guinea pigs.
I'll give you a hand.
It had to be the back of a flower bed. Easy, does it, Meg? It's Fred we're burying, not a coffin 6 feet under. There's no need to... What is it already? Something with a very big ribcage.
They didn't put crosses over all of them. Just look at this.
It looks like it must have been a monkey or something.
We'd better put them in a box or something and rebury them.
I don't think we can do that, Meg.
Well, why not? What is the matter?
Look at this. That's not a dog's skull, is it? Or a monkey's.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
But it's for me to forgive anything, is it? I mean...
Heine is supposed to have said on his deathbed, Dieu me pardonnera, c'est son métier.
You know how bad my French is.
God will forgive me. It's his job.
I should hope it is. Let's not talk about it anymore, right?
There's nothing I wouldn't forgive you.
Not molesting kids. Not kidnap. Not murder.
Likely to have done, aren't we?
A passenger on Alitalia flight 201.
Who was that, Shiva? The man you were looking at.
The chap I used to know years ago.
Why don't you go and say hello to him?
Alas and alack, he doesn't want to know a poor Indian. He's not the kind of bloke who wishes to know his coloured brethren.
Don't talk like that. I hate it when you talk like that. How did you come to know him?
Helpamos. He's one of the group of us there in the summer of 76. Adam Verne Smith. He was the one. It was his place.
Get some currency before we left.
Abigail thought you'd been kidnapped.
Don't put your words into her mouth.
What's she supposed to say at 6 months?
Have you been eating a Danish pastry?
A very modest indulgence, I'd have thought.
Having a baby doesn't just make you eat more, you know. It alters the metabolism. You need a whole lot less food to put on weight.
What on earth's got into your ale?
Oh. Come on. If we go now, we'll have time to get you some perfume in the duty-free before they call our flight.
The doors!
It wasn't your fault. What happened at that place wasn't your fault.
It's true they never consulted me. If I had given my advice, it would have been ignored.
You should try to forget it all.
I suppose I feel that would be wrong. I would never to forget about that kiddie.
It's funny
What's funny?
that it was after our baby died that you saw the other man.
What other man?
Don't you remember?
I always thought it was kind of retribution that our baby died.
You said you...
I forgot that I told you. But there's nothing funny about his being at the hospital. He's a gynecologist.
A Suffolk landowner, Mr. Alec Chipstead, who lives near Hadley, unearthed a human skeleton. Police declined to comment further at this stage.
Something in the paper?
What could there possibly be in the paper?
Something's worrying you. That's an enormous vodka. Bad day?
Not particularly. Stupid woman couldn't remember whether her IUD was still there or not.
Oh!
Why don't we go out to dinner tonight? Somewhere in Hampstead. Drink a lot of wine.
I've no objection.
Go and put on something splendid.
It's rather a tall order. I'll see what I've got.
A Suffolk landowner, Mr. Alec Chipstead, living near Hadley. It doesn't have to be Wyvis Hall.
Directory inquiries, which town, please?
Colchester.
What name?
Chipstead.
And the address?
Wyvis Hall, Noons.
One moment, please. The number you require is 6262013.
No one will think of looking there. Where better to hide a body than a cemetery?
A Suffolk landowner discovered the bodies of a woman and a baby in a pet's graveyard in the grounds of a house at Noons near Colchester. The police say that foul play has not been ruled out.
Good God, that's Wyvis Hall.
A Tyneside shipyard has been awarded a contract to build 5 gunships for Saudi Arabia.
Must be getting on for 11 years.
The company said that the contract could not have come
Let's
at a
turn
better
this off.
time.
I wanted to watch Mastermind.
Oh, that's ours yet. I shall have to get in touch with the police. There's no two ways about it.
Shouldn't you wait till Adam gets back from Tenerife?
Why? What would that be in aid of? There's no one living knows the place better than I do.
That's true.
I shan't wait till Adam gets back. I shall go down to the police station tomorrow and make a statement.
Wyvis Hall, Noons, Suffolk, and the 20 acres of land surrounding it were the property through his marriage of my uncle, Hilbert Verne Smith.
Oh, you've got the spelling of that correctly. Verne with an E.
Verne with an E. Came into the possession of my son, Hilbert John Adam Verne Smith, under my uncle's will, bypassing myself, though my son was no more than 19 at the time of my uncle's death. Being an undergraduate at the time, my son never considered actually residing in the house. He was in agreement with my suggestion that the property be sold, and before he returned to college in the autumn of 1976, he took my advice and placed house and lands in the hands of an estate agent.
I can't quite recall the agent's name at the present, but I shall let you have it in due course.
Right. Country properties were not selling well at that time, and Wyvis Hall was not finally sold until the end of 1977, when it was bought by Mr. and Mrs. Langan. As far as I know, my son's personal acquaintance with Wyvis Hall was confined to my uncle's lifetime, when I, my wife and son frequently stayed with him. After my uncle's death in April 1976...
I'm sorry, March. Stupid of me. March.
March 1976. My son visited Wyvis Hall on 2 or at the most 3 separate occasions, simply for the purpose of looking it over and reaching a decision about the disposal of furniture and effects. I suppose it is possible that squatters or other vagrants took possession of the house between the time of my uncle's death and the sale of the property. Certainly my son never let it or allowed anyone to occupy it either on a temporary or permanent basis. Now, do you have a holiday address for your son?
No, he's somewhere in Tenerife with his wife and daughter. He'll be returning in about a week's time.
There's a train to Marks Tey in a quarter of an hour. You pick up the London train there.
So this is it?
This is it, Adam. From here on, we all go our separate ways.
Forever and forever, farewell, Rufus.
Take care.
I can't tell you the weight you've taken off my mind, Dr. Fletcher. An ovarian cyst. And there I got the dreaded C.
Just leave it all to me, Mrs. Beecham. I'll make all the necessary arrangements.
You're so considerate, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Goodbye, Mrs. Beecham.
Goodbye.
That house with Adam and the others in 76. It'll be all up with me. I'm a gynecologist, and it's the bones of a young mother and a baby they've dug up at Wyvis Hall. What worried woman would come to me? What GP would send her to me?
This is our last warning.
At least it's not as bad as the Patel Balaclava Street.
What happened to them?
A packet of dog dirt, that's what they got.
What kind of minds have they got, these people?
Shiva, do you think you ought to go to the police? What we saw on TV about the place in Suffolk.
Why go looking for trouble? It's not my concern, it's Verne Smith's. Let well alone.
Adam's flight from Tenerife gets in at 1:30.
I thought you didn't know when he was coming back.
I rang that friend of his who runs the travel agency, Collingwood. I think we should drive out and meet him at the airport. Break the news gently.
Aren't you getting things out of proportion?
I don't understand you.
Well, I'll play yet.
And that's all you know. I bought the Standard. The police are treating this case as murder.
I remember you said at the time that only trouble would come from inheriting a place like Wyvis Hall at his age.
It should have come to me. Uncle Hilbert always said that Wyvis Hall would come to me. I can't think what possessed him. And what I shall never forgive is that Adam never really appreciated what he'd inherited.
Yes, dear.
I loved that place more than anything in my life. The house, the gallery, the library, the lake. And all he could think of was how to get rid of it.
It's quite simple. I need the money.
But couldn't you just sell the land?
I don't want to sell the land. It wouldn't fetch much anyway. And who's going to want to buy it?
Why don't you try living there for a while? Get the feel of the place.
There's no time. Term starts on October the 17th, and I'm going to Greece with Rufus Fletcher and his girlfriend.
You're never going to Greece for 4 months.
I don't know, I might be. Greece is quite big.
And what's going to happen to Wyvis Hall in the meantime? You can't just let it go to rack and ruin.
It's not in ruins, and I don't know what rack means.
No.
I'll get somebody to keep an eye on the place and see that it's all right. There's a lot of squatting going on, you know.
Perhaps it was squatters who did it.
The murder? You said he'd got somebody to keep an eye out for squatters. That wasn't what worried him. He was more concerned that I might try to take possession of the place while he was away.
Oh, there they are. Oh, Abigail's fast asleep on Anne's shoulder, bless her.
I didn't expect a reception committee. To what do I owe this one? How did you know we'd be on this flight?
Something's happened. Something I thought you should know about straight away. They've dug up a lot of bones at my uncle's house.
At Wyvis Hall?
Nobody ever comes here anyway.
How are we going to cover it all up?
I cut the turf into squares. We ought to be able to put them back on top without it showing.
If it goes on raining like this, no one's ever going to notice the difference.
I never knew anything about the place. It must have come as a terrific shock, discovering you'd inherited all that. Did it come as a complete surprise?
I thought my father would come in for it. Everyone did.
Why do you think he left it to you like that?
Not because he liked me. I think it happened this way. He saw through all my father's toadying. He thought to himself, right, you've called the boy Hilbert to please me, to make me like him, so I damn well will like him. I'll like him more than you and leave him Wyvis Hall over your head.
So I suppose you whizzed straight down there and had a look at your property.
No, I didn't, as a matter of fact. I didn't have the time. I had to go back to university. Anyway, I was going to sell it. I wasn't starry-eyed about my lovely house, you know.
When was all this?
It was in 1976. Well, you remember. The first of the long, hot, dry summers. The longest hot summer any of us had ever known.
Want me to drive you down there?
I thought I should go down and take a look at my inheritance. And seeing as my father's so eaten up with jealousy, he won't let me have the car.
You naturally thought of me. Not too grand now to travel in a Morris Minor van.
I can cope with it this once.
Right. Whereabouts is this place?
It's near a place called Noons in Suffolk. You take the A12 up to Chelmsford and then go across country through Halstead and Sudbury. At least that's the way my father always used to take us.
That's right.
Well, we're still on the Hadley Road. And I know it's somewhere off here. There's a drift that leads down to Wyvis Hall. But everything's grown so high, I don't recognise it.
Why do you call it a drift?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
This place we're coming to?
The mill in the Pykel. Oh, we've come too far. Turn round.
What's a Pykel?
No idea.
You can look it up when you look up drift.
That's it there, the gap in the hedge.
It's a pretty bumpy road. I hope the axle's up to it.
Through the trees.
My.
It's much bigger than I remembered.
That's because it's yours now. Hey, you didn't tell me about all these other buildings. What's the place with the little tower?
Those are the stables. They haven't been used for years. All mine. Let's go inside. Been shut up for nearly 3 months. It's not surprising. I'll open a window.
And I suppose all the furniture and knickknacks are yours too?
Yeah.
Ancestors in oils, mirrors, cabinets stuffed with fine china. Hey, there's even a chandelier.
This used to be Hilbert's study. Here we are. Suffolk Words and Phrases.
The books must be worth a bit too. All these leather bindings.
Nothing for drift.
Let's get back into the fresh air. I'm choking. Extremely precocious swan. In fact, a row of decidedly uninhibited statues. What are they all?
They're supposed to be the loves of Jupiter. They were brought here from Florence long before my uncle's time. They used to fascinate me when I was a little child.
I can imagine.
I asked my father what the bull was doing to the pretty lady, but I never got a straight answer.
Poor Louis. They're huge.
Take a handful. Someone's obviously been looking after them.
Oh, they're marvellous.
That's because the sun has soaked into them. And there'll be raspberries and nectarines and currants and gooseberries. This is going to be a wonderful summer for fruit.
Oh, it's so amazingly hot. It's like being in the tropics.
Let's go down to the lake. It'll be cooler there.
The lake? You mean to say you own a lake as well? You're not seriously thinking of selling all this?
Well, what else can I do?
The Garden of Eden. That's what I called it. A paradise to be expelled from. On the day we left, the weather broke, do you know that?
And a baby. Cause of death has not been established. The Home Office pathologist Dr. Aubrey Hellier said that at this stage it was impossible to give an opinion. The police are treating the case as murder. But they don't say why. There's no mention of shot being found among the remains.
Don't point it at me, for God's sake!
It's not loaded.
Never mind. You don't point guns at people. Give it to me.
All right, keep your hair on.
It belonged to my uncle. It's a pump-action shotgun.
What's that mean?
We don't have to keep reloading. It's got a repeating action. You don't have to put a cartridge in each time before you fire.
I thought all guns worked like that.
And the cabinet's full of cartridges. We might even get some shooting.
Not in June, Squire. Even I know that.
I didn't mean now.
I thought you were going to sell this place.
matter?
Nothing. It's that clicking noise you make in your throat when you're asleep. It keeps me awake. Would they be able to identify us?
Old Mr. Verne Smith paid me up to the end of April. I never received no notification to quit, so I carried on.
Well, I'm telling you to stop now. You're not needed here.
The gardens can't keep going by themselves. I've been coming on here watering most nights.
That's not my problem. The people who buy the hall will have to handle that.
Oh, it do seem a wicked shame. Well, it's not my place to argue. Well, that's 7 weeks you owe me then.
I never asked you to come.
Oh, true, but I come, didn't I? I done the work, and I want paying. Fair's fair. Oh, look at the place. You can't deny I done the work.
How much does it come to?
Well, I come twice a week at £1 a time, so that's 13, see? And then there's all the times I've come over to do the watering. 15 quid, I reckon, would cover it.
Just a minute. Rufus! Rufus!
What time's my next appointment?
3:30, Mrs. Wainfleet. But you were going to give me a report on Mrs. Elmsted.
That can wait for a while. Thank you, nurse. Problem. If we'd had any money, we'd have gone off to Greece and probably forgotten all about the place. But we were broke and decided to spend a week at Wyvis Hall while we sorted things out.
We ought to give the rooms names. In my uncle's time, there was the Blue Room, and the Rose Room, and the Garden Room, and so on. But we can surely do better than that.
Well, there's old Hilbert's room for a start, with that dreadful Victorian picture of the baby dying.
The deathbed room, then?
There's a very peculiar picture in my room, too.
The Centaur at the Forge. It's by a chap called Birklin.
It's pretty dreadful. Is it valuable?
Don't know. So we'll call your room the Centaur Room.
Where I slept with Mary Gage. And where is she now? I must have been mad to invite her down there. But she was just about the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen.
You'd never have got anywhere near Greece in this thing. It would have given up the ghost halfway across France.
The Goblander.
The what?
I'm calling it the Goblander.
Goblander?
I know. It's an anagram. Old banger. Goblander.
It's not just an anagram. It's the way it gobbles up petrol.
And it certainly wouldn't have got to Greece.
Anyway, I don't much see the point of going to Greece now. This could be the best summer in England ever, and we'd miss it. It's always like this in Greece. It'll keep.
The problem is, what are we going to live on?
We'll manage.
We can't live on strawberries and nectarines, and we shall need some wine. You'll just have to sell something. We've passed at least half a dozen antique shops in the last 20 minutes. Offer them the family silver.
But you can't do that. It would be a desecration.
Desecration?
Though your great-uncle in trust.
He's not coming back to see how I've discharged my duties.
He'll turn in his grave.
No, there'll just be a small upheaval in his ashes. Peace. In that Crown Derby sweets jar.
What are?
Uncle Hilbert's ashes. I thought he'd like it there.
I never know when you're being serious. You're not really going to sell those sherry glasses.
What else can we do? I'll take them down to Sudbury in the morning.
That antique dealer from Hadley. He might remember us.
£150. That's the best I could do on those.
He came out and had a look round the place. I showed him round the house. Well, he'd be in his 70s now, but he'd recognise me all right. What?
Mrs. Wainfleet's here, about the result of her cervical smear.
Show her in.
Ikalpimos.
It's a better name than Wyvis Hall, anyway. If anyone asks where we spent the summer, we'll tell them Ikalpimos.
It sounds like a Greek island commune.
We might just as well be on a Greek island. Cloudless skies, day after day. It would really come as a shock to the system now if we were to have a shower of rain.
I think we should start a commune here. If we can find the right sort of people, of course.
There might be some people at college.
You want at least one person who's been in a commune before. There's a girl I know called Bella something. She used to be one of the Rajneesh lot. She always lives in communes. I could find out a bit more about her and give her a ring.
And it was through Bella that Vivien and Shiva got to know about Ikalpimos. Mary... what was her name? Mary Gage. Her father was a Labour peer or something of the sort. She looked like Elizabeth Taylor did when she was young. Dark blue eyes and a wonderful figure.
Fact.
We're not going to Greece, are we?
I shouldn't think so for a moment. Why on earth should we do that?
I still want to go to Greece.
No, you don't, me lovely.
Mm.
You want to stay here?
I'll do it.
No. Let her do it.
Roll over.
Poor old Adam. Leading the life of a monk and watching us at it all the time. It can't be good for him. We should give him a piece of the action. Let's just slip your halter top off.
Get your hands off! No! I don't want it.
What's the matter with you, woman?
I'm not doing tribadism. That's what's the matter.
Troyalism, not tribadism. A tribad is a lesbian, whereas a Troyalist
You
is someone...
bastard! You perverted sod!
The confusion arises from the tri, which isn't Latin, but it's actually...
Look, it was only a game, a Midsummer Night's Game.
It actually derives from the Greek verb to rub.
It isn't Midsummer Night. It's the 22nd. Oh, I've had enough!
A nice little threesome. And the minute it rocks a bit, nothing a bit of persuasion wouldn't put right. You start giving an address on the verb to rub. Well, I shall remember that to my dying day.
You won't. I bet you won't.
And then there was the Coipu man. Well, he certainly met Adam. And I doubt whether he would have forgot Mary in a hurry.
Adam, I'm leaving.
What?
I'm getting the next train from Colchester. And I think you should know there's some awful peasant trespassing down by the lake. He looks as if he's poaching.
Just giving your lake the once-over. Koipu control.
What control?
Koipu.
Is that an acronym?
Oh, dunno. Oh, you saw a sort of big rat come from South America.
Well, look all you want.
Oh, right. I take a shift around the wood while I'm at it. Pig next to you's down to sugar bait this year. The Koipu is crazy for sugar bait. If you ever want me, you can always find me in Noons. Pearson, Vermstroy.
What did he want?
He isn't trespassing, he's the Koipu exterminator.
And you let him go ahead?
Well, why not?
Because he's destroying the local ecology, that's why.
There can't be anything ecological about preserving South American rodents in Suffolk.
Well, I'm going to sort him out. I'll teach him to respect wildlife.
Zosie. Zosie.
Adam. Adam.
Hey! Hey, stop!
Where are you going?
Anywhere.
Anywhere?
I don't know where I am, so how can I say where I want to go?
Did you come on the train?
Came out of there. The building with the big chimney.
What is it?
It's a bin. Funny farm. What my gran calls a lunatic asylum.
What is it? What's the matter with you?
Was I having a dream? I'll take a look at her just the same. Bed. The doctor turning to the father, with the mother clinging to his side.
Dead, and never called me mother.
How could we have laughed at it?
Why did you let me go in there? Why didn't you warn me? Why didn't you tell me? Again.
But my dream was all wrong. It wasn't me who found her on the road. It was Rufus.
Where do you want to go?
Anywhere.
Come on, you can do better than that.
Nose.
By an amazing coincidence, I'm going there myself.
Could I have a cigarette?
I've only got 6.
You could buy some at a pub.
I could if I had any money. I just bought a gallon of petrol. Have you any money?
Of course I haven't.
What's your name?
Zosie.
Zoe.
Not Zoe, not Sophie. Zosie. What's yours?
Rufus. To my friend's place. Wyvis Hall, maybe you know it.
I've never been to Noons. It's a friend of yours. Is it his parents' place?
No, it's his place. He owns it. We live there, just the two of us.
Can I go there with you? Just for a little while, just for the night?
Why not? You don't have to tell me.
I was just hoping somebody would turn up. I'd probably have gone home.
Oh, we're coming to Noons now. What's the matter? Are you feeling all right?
I'm tired.
Don't you worry. We'll soon have you tucked up in bed.
Yours?
I wouldn't be at all surprised.
What is it?
Detective Inspector Winder. Now, I'd like to call round and see you, if I may, sir, just to clear a few matters up.
What matters?
I'd explain that when we meet, Mr. Verne Smith.
When do you want to come?
Well, shall we say half an hour? No time like the present, is there?
Oh, God. I came into the house and heard the phone ringing and Abigail crying and went to the phone first. What sort of father does that make me?
Yeah, take her if you're so concerned. There wasn't anything wrong with her. She'd thrown her teddy out and couldn't reach it.
Anne, would you get me a whiskey and water? A lot of water. I can't get it without putting her down.
Sure. Is something the matter?
No, not really. The police want to come and see me. Something about Wyvis Hall.
When?
What do you mean, when?
When do they want to come and see you?
They'll be round in about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What's it all about?
I can't tell them very much. It isn't as if I ever lived there.
But you had someone come to look after it, didn't you?
Actually, no. I told my father that at the time to stop him saying I was letting the place go to ruin. How could I have afforded anyone? I was broke. I had to sell off some of Hilbert's furniture to get to Greece.
It was the bones of a girl they found. And a baby.
How old are you, Zosie?
I'm 17.
And why are you called Zosie? What's it short for?
I don't know much about it. My mother said that it was after Zosima. It was in some Russian book.
Do you mean Dostoevsky? Father Zosima's a man.
My mother's very ignorant. She wouldn't know. She just have liked the sound.
What about your father? Where does he live?
He's dead. My mother married again.
And where does she live?
For goodness sake, Adam, stop persecuting the poor girl. You're treating her like a criminal.
Did you know there was an area of your property where family pets were buried?
I used to go there when I was a child. You know, I think I must have been shown it then.
You think, Mr. Verne Smith?
Well, I don't remember. I knew there was an animal cemetery there somewhere, but I don't remember when I first saw it.
You didn't, for instance, go to look at it when you stayed at Wyvis Hall in June 1976?
I don't think so. Not that I can recall.
You are aware, of course, of what was found buried in the animal cemetery a couple of weeks ago?
I think so.
Skeletons of a young woman and a baby. Death occurred between 9 and 12 years ago, which really means most probably 10 or 11 years ago.
I suppose so.
Young woman met a violent death. Child too, possibly. Suicide is a possibility in the woman's case, but well, she didn't kill herself and dig her own grave.
It wouldn't seem likely.
When would it have been exactly, the time you spent down there in the summer of 1976?
From June the 18th for about a week.
You have no recollection of seeing a young woman about, pushing a pram, for example?
Not that I can remember.
You never saw a girl in the vicinity while you were there?
No.
You won't mind my asking, I'm sure it was a long time ago. You never had a girl staying with you there?
Absolutely not. I believe people might have used the house in my absence. When I went back in 1977, there were, signs that people might have been in, camping there.
What sort of signs, Mr. Verne Smith?
Well, nothing very major or remarkable. Difficult to remember now in any detail. A broken window in the wash house, an empty bottle of whiskey, scraps of food packets, the remains of a fire by the walled garden. Some missing ornaments.
Can you be more specific?
I'm afraid I can't. Well, I didn't think that much about it at the time.
No, I understand. Is there anything else you would like to tell me?
I don't think so.
Well, then, I'll leave you in peace. Oh, there's just one other thing. I wonder if you'd mind going into the local station sometime in the next few days. I'm Suffolk Police, but it would be best if you were to make a statement here.
A statement?
Yeah, simply tell him what you've told me. Ask for Sergeant Fuller, CID. Any time will do, but let's say before the weekend, shall we?
What the hell's that?
My God, it's the police. It's just the post lady. What's the matter with you?
I thought it was the farce.
And what were you going to do if it was? I think you should put that gun down.
Just what is all this?
It's nothing to do with me. They think squatters got into Wyvis Hall and lived there without my knowing.
Why do they want you to make a statement?
It's nothing, just a formality. Isn't that Abigail?
I didn't hear anything.
I'll just go upstairs and check.
I'm sure it's nothing.
Abigail?
Rufus?
This is Adam Verne Smith.
but not now.
The police have been here.
Christ.
I didn't mention you or anyone. I said I'd never stayed there.
Where do you work, or whatever you do?
Sort of Victoria, Pimlico.
Call me tomorrow in Wimpole Street. We might have a drink.
Abigail? Oh, she's not breathing! Abigail! Oh, thank God.
What the hell are you doing to her?
I thought she was dead.
You're sick. You ought to see someone. Give her to me.
Stay on here a bit.
I suppose so. But I really meant for people to sort of pay their way. I want to get a commune going with people contributing.
Well, I haven't got any money. I expect I could sign on.
Sign on?
I could sign on and get the dough and give you some.
I see.
There are other ways of getting money. I can always get money.
I wouldn't want you doing that.
Doing what? Didn't mean that. Suppose I would do that, though. It wouldn't bother me. I expect you'd call it that when I let Woof Woof have me to get a bed for the night.
What did you mean then?
Never actually picked fruit and eaten it like this. Should have always been bought in the shops.
What did you mean about getting money?
Don't think I want to say. You'll see.
Isn't it about time we were getting back to... What the hell are you wearing?
It's a pillowcase. I just unpicked a few stitches. I had to have something to put on while I wash my shorts and T-shirt.
I think she looks great.
And you're coming into Sudbury like that?
Why shouldn't she?
I just don't think they're prepared for this kind of thing in Sudbury.
Selling it. It's probably been in the family for generations.
If it has been, they haven't taken much care of it. It's all discoloured. Anyway, it's all yours now, and we need the money. If we can't have booze and a few fags when we want, there's no point in being here. What on earth are you doing?
I don't want anyone in Nims to see me. In my house. I'm staying down here until we're out in the Sudbury Road.
We'll try the place in Friar Street, right?
Well, he won't give us much.
But he doesn't ask any questions. Then we'll blow some of it at the off-licence.
I'm 10 quid short. He gave me £65 for the silver, didn't he?
Yeah, I watched him count it out.
But I only had 55 when I paid for the wine.
You must have got it wrong.
Oh, the booze and the fags came to 34.72 when I've got 20.28. It ought to be 30.28.
Here's Zosie. She might know.
Hi.
And she's wearing a new pair of jeans and a T-shirt.
She must have picked my pocket.
I had to have some clothes. I felt funny in that pillowcase. The old guy in the antique shop kept staring at me.
Zosie, did you take
Here, take this.
40 quid? Where did this come from?
It doesn't matter. It's for us. You said everyone had to contribute.
But how did you manage
Let's go home now, shall we?
I think perhaps we ought to steer clear of this place for a bit.
It is all right now, isn't it? I can stay on.
Adam. Without the beard, but unmistakably Adam. I didn't see you at first. I got myself a drink. Can I freshen yours up?
No, thanks. I'm fine.
Well, well. After all this time.
Look, I'd like to dispense with all that how are you and what have you been doing all this time stuff. It's a mere matter of form. We can't really want to know.
As you wish.
No one's contacted me. I rather expected they would. I thought they might be anxious about what I'd tell the police. About them, I mean.
And have you mentioned their names to the police?
No, I haven't.
But they've been to you, they've questioned you.
Yes, but I haven't mentioned you or anyone.
I see.
They asked me if I'd ever lived at Wivers Hall, and I said no, only stayed there for a week or two, the beginning of the time we were actually there.
Did they ask you if you were there by yourself?
They asked if I had a girl with me, and I just said no, certainly not.
Well, that's...
No, it's not funny. It's not funny.
Everything is funny in a sort of way.
What do you mean? It's all mine if I want it.
Zosie was just a brief aberration. A two-night stand. She's a woman of mystery. You'll have noticed I've been sleeping on the terrace this past couple of nights. Why don't you take her into Pincushion with you? You are the lord of the manor, after all. Droit de seigneur and all that. I suppose you're married?
Yes. And you?
Yes.
I've got a daughter.
Have you? I can't imagine you with kids.
Zosie. Like the feathers of a little bird.
I hate them. They're ugly.
Oh, they're beautiful, Zosie. Everything about you is beautiful.
I don't see what you're worrying about.
Look, it's one thing talking to a bloke in your own living room, and another thing signing sworn statements in a police station. I've managed to keep you out of it so far.
It wouldn't help you to mention us. Come on. If you stick to what you've already said, they'll accept it. Why shouldn't they? They've only come because you're one of the past owners of the place. Whoever you sold the place to is coming in for the same.
I hope you're bloody right. Do you think I ought to get in touch with Shiva, what's-his-name?
What was his name? I've been trying to remember. It was the way they just arrived there out of the blue that was so strange. We were lying out there on the terrace watching the sun go down, half stupid with wine and hashish.
It was July the 15th, St. Swithin's Day.
St. Swithin's Day. If thou dost reign, for 40 days it shall remain.
Who is St. Swithin?
Bishop of Winchester or something of the sort.
It always rained on St. Swithin's Day, for as long as I can remember.
Well, if it's going to rain this evening, it's leaving it a bit late.
What happens if it doesn't rain?
St. Swithin's Day, if thou be fair, for 40 days shall rain no more.
40 more days of perpetual sunshine. The Mediterranean come to Suffolk.
Hello? Hello? Is anybody here?
Who the devil's that?
Over here!
Good evening. My name is Shiva Manjustri.
What can we do for you?
This is the right place. This is a Kalpamos?
Yes, this is a Kalpamos. Have a glass of wine.
Thank you. My name is Vivien Goldman. We heard about your commune from Bella.
Bella? Oh, she was a friend of Mary's. Welcome to a Kalpamos, Vivien and...
Shiva.
We had quite a lot of trouble finding the place. You know, none of the taxi drivers at Colchester had heard of it. We had to walk from Newnes. And even then we weren't sure. I mean, there isn't a sign or anything.
It is the first time I've been in the English countryside. It is quite remarkably beautiful.
We'd better put them in Hilbert's room.
The deathbed room. Most appropriate. I haven't heard from anyone else.
Nothing.
The trouble about women is that they marry and change their names.
I've been thinking about all the people who knew we were living there who might remember us.
Like the gardener.
And the Koipu man.
And the antique dealers.
Well, what about Mary Gage?
She got married and went off to Brazil. No trouble there. I expect, in the eyes of the law, we'd all be guilty, you know. I mean, we were all there. Not to be guilty, one of us would have had to go rushing off to the police. When you've made that statement, give me a ring at Wimpole Street, would you?
Your wife doesn't know about any of this.
Lord, no. Yours?
No.
I'd better be off. Soldier on.
Bye. I think I'll stay here for a while.
I am not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you are not in this world to live up to mine. I am I, and you are you. And if we find each other, that's beautiful. If not, it can't be helped.
It's called the Gestalt prayer. Don't you think it's beautiful?
I don't know about that. Do we really have to have it on the kitchen wall?
I like it. It's the way people ought to live.
Love is about allowing. Love is about letting people be free. Look, you leave the cage door open, and if you're really loved, the bird flies back to be with you. And that's the only kind of love worth having.
You weren't very allowing when I wanted to go off shooting birds this morning.
Look, that's different.
It's practical. Meat's expensive.
No, we should make use of the resources of this place. Pick the fruit and sell it, not just leave it for when we want it. We should coppice the wood to get timber for fires in the winter, and grow potatoes and greens, learn to weave, keep a goat.
My dear Vivien, what we have here is a little paradise. We lie on our backs in the sun and the fruit drops into our mouths. The last thing we want to do is pick it and sell it. We're not here to work. We're here to lie in the sun and drink and smoke and swim in the lake and make love if we feel so inclined. This isn't a Boy Scout camp.
And when the money runs out?
Well, then we flog the rest of Hilbert Silver.
Well, I can't live like that. I shall cook and bake the bread and clean the rooms.
But what do you have to do that for?
Well, it's to earn my keep. I can't contribute any cash.
I could never understand why it was so important to her. It was obvious from the start it was nothing like her idea of a commune. And she had no intention of staying there.
And did you want to stay?
I was happy there. Well, there was no possibility of that. I had to get on with my pharmacy course. Vivien had already applied for a job in London anyway.
As a nanny? For an architect named Robin Tatian. He lives in Highgate.
Adam and I were at...
Long curly hair. He's about 35.
Sounds yummy.
Well, I didn't actually see him, but the woman showed me a photograph of him and the baby.
So, what time do you have to be there?
3 o'clock. Are you sure it won't be too much trouble?
Can I come?
Get the job. I shall save up all my salary and go to India. Should be possible. I'm living in.
What do you want to go to India for?
Well, there's this mystic. He's a sadhu. I've read about him. People go to him and learn. I'd go and live there.
Is there some sort of ashram there for you to stay in? I mean, will you wear yellow robes and ring a little glass bell?
I shall take a room in the village.
You'll make yourself ill. The food will be unwholesome, the water infected, and you'll very likely get amoebic dysentery.
I don't think so. I shall be careful.
Wish I could go with you.
Well, come.
What's the address of this place in Highgate?
View Road. It's called Cranmer Lodge.
Ah, I think I know the place.
Do you have to have references to be a nanny?
I've looked after someone's baby before. She'd give me a reference.
Do you like babies?
Yes, of course. I'm a woman. Isn't funny? Women naturally like babies.
Why doesn't his wife look after the baby?
Oh, I suppose she's too busy. The baby's got a nanny now, but she's leaving soon. Oh, and there's another child, a bit older. She's called Naomi.
Not the kind of job that would appeal to you, Zosie. You wouldn't have anything to do with babies, would you?
I would. I'd like to have 6. I'd like 12.
You shouldn't laugh. What is there to laugh at?
This must be it. He's very worth a bob or two.
I love that house. Isn't it lovely?
Can you pick me up in an hour and a half? I'll be at the top of the road.
Right you are.
Thanks.
We'll find somewhere to kill time.
I want to go to one of those big supermarkets. I've never seen one.
Marigold?
All this idea of poets needing
Yes.
silence and tranquility.
When did Brent Cross open?
It's what's inside your brain that matters. Peace and quiet, I'm going to bring it up.
I was still at school.
Lock it in his bloody library.
Right.
Rufus always going on about the need to have a...
You're rather strange this evening.
I'm just letting you watch your programme, that's all. I thought it was a particular favourite of yours.
It is.
What pretty little pointy things that fall apart.
I'm sure it was Brent Cross.
If we lose one another, I'll see you at the car, okay?
I knew that Zosie would steal something, and I wanted to see her do it.
Excuse me, sir. I must ask you to kindly extinguish your cigarette. Smoking is not permitted.
If you say so.
This is a customer announcement.
What about Barrack Place?
For the parent or person in charge of a small boy aged about 3, dressed in a white shirt, blue shorts and blue sandals, please come to the customer information desk.
I couldn't see Zosie anywhere. Or rather, I could see her everywhere. There were thousands of girls in jeans and T-shirts and no makeup. But none of them was Zosie.
Robot.
Open the door, Rufus, quick!
About time too, I was going... What are you doing with that kid?
He can come in the back with me. Let's get away now.
Are you out of your mind?
Please, somebody will see us.
You've got to take him back. How did you get hold of him?
There was this announcement. It said...
No, never mind. I don't care. Just take him back. Put him down inside the doors and leave him. Anything.
He's called Andrew. He was saying, Andrew wants Mummy. So I walked in and I said, here's Mummy. Andrew, whatever happened to you? Come on, let's go. They didn't stop me. They didn't ask anything, and he just came.
For God's sake!
Look, he likes me. We can take him back to a Calpamos and he can live with us.
You're mad. Give him to me.
No! He's coming with me.
Come on, Andrew. We're going to find your mummy. You haven't been waiting too long.
No, it's quite all right.
How did you get on?
Quite well, I think. Was his sister I saw. His wife's dead. She died when the baby was born. She had an embolism or something.
What's an embolism?
It's a bubble of air in a vein. And if it touches the heart or the brain, you die. Is that right, Rufus?
More or less. Did you get the job or don't you know?
Well, they're going to let me know. The sister was interviewing people before she goes back to America.
Sounds a peculiar setup.
No, she lives in America. She just wanted to see her brother settle with the new nanny while she was here.
How old's the little baby?
Oh, she's 9 months old.
What's she like? Is she lovely?
Yes, of course. Beautiful. Oh, Rufus, I think I've done something silly. She said she'd write to me, and I told her my address was the Calpamos, Newnes, Suffolk. But it isn't really called that, is it?
I think it would baffle the post lady.
It's Wyvis Hall. You'll have to phone them and set them right.
Yeah, I'll phone in a couple of weeks' time. She said she'd let me know then.
I hope you get the job. We could come and visit you. I'd love to see the baby.
She was sick in her mind. You always said she was sick in her mind.
She was mad with unhappiness. Rufus knew. He should have done something, got her to a doctor. But they encouraged her. Rufus and Adam. They encouraged her to steal. It amused them. It was love she was stealing, a psychiatrist would say.
Who's the man in that picture?
Saint Sebastian. That's why we call the room Pincushion. He was shot full of arrows by his own archers.
I was shot full of arrows.
What do you mean?
My skin was stretched, and when the stretching stopped, it could never go back to what it used to be. That's what those marks are.
I think they're lovely, Zosie.
My skin was stretched. Shall I tell you? Shall I tell you now?
She had a baby who was born before she had her 17th birthday.
That was very sad, Shiva.
Well, it was not sad for the baby. The baby was adopted. My goodness. It must be 10 now. More than 10. She was a tremendous liar, you know. One day she told Vivien her stepfather was the baby's father. Another time it was a boy at her school. Who knows what the truth was? But it was clear she left school because she was going to have a baby. And after it was born, she went to live in this place where young girls who were not married lived with their babies until they were adopted. She didn't go back to live with her mother, though, of course, she meant to later.
My mother doesn't know where I am. She doesn't care, does she?
Well...
She hasn't tried to find me. She hasn't looked for me. She hasn't told the police. Don't you see how terrible it is? I'm missing from home and my mother isn't worried. I might have been murdered. For Christ's sake, I'm only 17.
Zosie told Vivien her mother was embarrassed when she got pregnant. Not angry or upset, mark you, but embarrassed. She was afraid of what people would say.
Why didn't Zosie have an abortion?
Vivien said she wouldn't face up to things. She pretended it wasn't happening. By the time she told her mother, it was too late to do anything. The only thing her mother could think of was having the baby adopted. It was a piece of luck for her that she and her husband were moving house just about the time Zosie was supposed to give birth, so that with luck, the old neighbours wouldn't know and the new ones would never find out. That was why Zosie was supposed to go to the hostel place. She gave up the baby 2 weeks after it was born.
Was it a boy or a girl?
I don't know. I didn't ask. Zosie couldn't stay on at the hostel when the baby was gone. She couldn't go back to school. She had nowhere to go and no money.
If only I'd known you lived here, and you'd want me to live here with you, I needn't have given up my baby. I could have kept my baby. Why don't things happen in the right order, Adam?
What would we do with a baby here, Zosie? It would be a terrible nuisance, and we wouldn't be able to go out.
You weren't to blame. It was nothing to do with you. It was only that you happened to be there.
No, it was more than that. I should have left, but instead I actually persuaded Vivien to stay on. When she heard she got the job with Robin Tatian, she thought of going back to London, back to the squat until the time came for her to move in. Things hadn't worked out at Icalpamus the way she'd expected them to. You can stay on, Shiva, she said. It doesn't mean you have to go because I do. We slept in the same bed together, but never touched her. I believe Vivien was coming to believe there wasn't room in her life for the distractions of sex. You like this, Lili?
I don't much like it, Shiva.
Stay on. The others were very distant from me. I'll be frank. I was in awe of them, even a bit afraid. I felt that Vivien was a protection, a sort of shield between me and them. I asked her not to desert me, and she said she wouldn't.
She sounds more like your mother than your lover.
She was. She said she thanked me for being Indian. We never talked about Hinduism. I don't know anything about it anyway. But she said that for her purposes it was enough my just being Indian. It pointed the way for her. I've never really known what she meant.
What was that?
Bunch of kids outside. They've broken a car windscreen.
Why don't you phone the police?
You say? They wouldn't pay me any attention.
The statement through carefully?
Yes, I have.
In point of fact, just for the record, where were you for the rest of the summer holidays? At home with your people, were you? Or did you go off somewhere?
I went to Greece.
On your own, were you?
I don't see what this has to do with Wyvis Hall. I wasn't there, and I should have thought that was all that mattered.
All that mattered? That would be a very tall order, don't you think? Funny the way people think things are of no importance, just because they happened 10 years ago.
If you finish with me, I do happen to be rather busy.
You have to sign your statement, Mr. Verne Smith.
I went with a friend of mine called Rufus Fletcher. He's Dr. Fletcher now.
Perhaps you give me his address.
He's in the phone book.
Rufus Fletcher.
Rufus, this is Mary Passant.
I found a children's graveyard. None of them seems to have lived beyond 15. Do you want me to show you?
Really? They're dogs and cats. I suppose there may be a goat or parrot here as well, but it's mostly dogs and cats.
Well, how can you know?
Well, I just know people like the Beerlands. They were my great-aunt's family. They were the sort to have animal cemeteries.
Do you think anyone else will ever be buried here?
I don't remember any animal cemetery.
I never knew it existed.
Who is it?
Mary Passant.
Who are you talking to?
My wife.
So you don't know anything about it? Well, how could you?
How indeed. Adam and I didn't stay long after you left.
So that girl Bella never found anyone to set up a commune with you?
Bella?
I only remember because someone told me yesterday that she had died. She was only 30.
Poor soul. No, she never sent anyone to us. When exactly do you go back to Brazil?
Well, in 5 days' time. Well, 4 really.
Not really time for us to meet.
Not really. Funny how it brought it all back, reading about Wyvis Hall in the papers.
Yes. I've been remembering it too. We need more wine. It's not going to last a week. And we're down to our last fiver, and that certainly isn't going to last a week. Well, time for another little trip round the antique shops.
And where do you suppose we're going to go? After Zosie's last little escapade, we daren't try anywhere in Sudbury. And you know what antique dealers are like. They've probably circulated our description around Lavenham and Long Melford and Colchester.
Oh, I could sell my ring. It's gold.
What, that pathetic little object? You'd scarcely get it on a child.
It was made for me when I was little. I wore it to one of my big fingers then. It's got a Z engraved inside.
It might fit an Indian girl, but I don't think you'll get much money for it.
Well, I don't want Zosie to sell it.
What else have we got?
Oh, they're the Georgian spoons and the salvers, and the liqueur glasses.
We'll have to go to London.
There's a place in the Archway Road where I might get a good price for the salvers, so long as I don't run into my parents.
I thought they lived in Edgware. It's not exactly close to Highgate.
Can I come?
I'm sorry, but I had to tell the police I went to Greece with you. They wanted to know who I was with if I wasn't at Wyvis Hall. I had to say. I couldn't invent someone.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much for getting me involved.
Why shouldn't you be involved? I don't see why I should carry the whole burden by myself.
Because you shot her, that's why. You fired the bloody gun.
I could steal food. I could steal a bottle of wine.
No, Zosie. There's to be no more stealing. We've got to find something to live on. Vivien and Shiva will be leaving soon, and so will Rufus. We shall both have to work.
I can't do anything. What could I do?
Well, you could work in a shop.
I'm bad at counting up. I get it wrong. I'm best at stealing things. I told you I should have to marry a rich man. My mother called me Lady Muck because I'm idle and like nice things. Why doesn't my mother come and look for me, Adam? Why doesn't she love me?
I love you.
You love screwing me.
Yes, I do, but I do love you, Zosie. I adore you. Don't you believe me?
I don't know. It's too soon. When are we going to London?
You never told me how they came to take the baby, but I suppose that's something you don't really know.
I know, all right. But I didn't at first, not on the first day. You see, when they came back, we thought the baby was Zosie's baby. We knew Zosie had a baby, and we knew she wished she kept it. And when they came back with the baby, we just took it for granted it was hers. At least, Vivien and I did. Rufus wasn't there. He was with some woman in Colchester, an army wife. Her husband was away somewhere.
Did Zosie go to London deliberately to kidnap the baby?
What's this place called?
Highgate Wood. If I can find a space, I'll park somewhere along here. Ah, this'll do.
There's a police station on the corner. You're not going to live outside a police station?
Well, why not? We're not doing anything illegal.
Drive a bit farther up, please. I've been here before.
Stay in the car while I try the antique shops round the corner.
Why can't I come?
He didn't want her going in those shops. He thought she'd take things. He left her sitting in the van. She said she might walk around a bit. She was mad, you know. She had a sort of postnatal insanity.
How did she come to take it in the first place?
Her. It was a girl. She walked along to the house where she knew Vivien was going to work. I don't think she'd had any particular intention of stealing Mr. Tation's baby, but she knew there was a baby there. She saw a woman come out of the house with one of those things you transport babies in. What do you call them?
A carrying cot.
That's right. The woman put the carrying cot on the back seat of the car, and she left the car door open because it was so hot. Then she went back into the house. It was as if she had forgotten something. Zosie said she couldn't help herself. She pulled the carrying cot out of the car and walked off down the street with it. She put it on the back seat of the van. Adam came back a minute later. He'd had no luck at the antique shop. He started the car and drove off.
You mean he didn't know the baby was there?
Well, he didn't know until they'd stopped at some traffic lights near Enfield.
What the hell's that?
Please don't be angry. Pull into the lay-by. I'll get her. There's a bottle in the cot with her. Lucky, wasn't it? Come on, Nicola. There you are.
What do you mean, lucky? What do you mean, in the cot with her?
I took the cot as well. She was in it. In the back of Mr. Tation's car.
Zosie, we have to take it back. We have to turn round and take it back where you found it.
Her? She's called Nicola. Vivien said her name was Nicola.
Her parents will be doing their nuts. We've got to take her back. Oh, please don't cry, Zosie. You can have a baby of your own. You and I will have a baby.
I won't give her up. If you turn back, I'll jump out the van. I'll throw myself under the truck.
Hey.
I want her. I love her to love me. I'll be first with her. Don't you know what it means to want to be first with someone?
So they brought the baby back to Wyvis Hall. Vivien and I were out on the terrace. We heard the van draw up and the sound of a baby crying. Then Zosie appeared. She was absolutely alight with happiness and excitement. That's why we thought it was her baby.
How long was it before you discovered the truth?
The following morning.
Is it really your baby, Zosie?
Of course it isn't.
She's mine.
Only in the sense that she's presently in your possession.
I don't understand what you mean.
She's a baby Zosie took out of a car when we were in London. She kidnapped her, if you like.
Did anyone see her do this?
Well, obviously not. Look, we've been through all this. I'm sick of it. I know it was wrong and terrible and all that. I'm not feeble-minded. I know the baby's got to go back, and the sooner the better as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, well, it was a wicked thing to do, an evil thing. And I think you are feeble-minded, both of you. That baby has to go back to her parents now, immediately.
I quite agree.
Do you know who her parents are? Oh, I suppose you don't. Well, Rufus will have to know about this. Rufus! Rufus, will you come here, please?
It's time for her feed. Give me the bottle, will you?
Look, she's a human being you've taken. She's a person, not an animal or a toy. Do you realise that?
What's going on?
Zosie's stolen a baby out of someone's car. What? Well, we all thought it was hers, but it's not. It's someone else's. And they don't even know whose baby it is.
Oh, yes, we do. It's Tation's. It's that man's you're going to work for.
What? Tation's baby? Yeah. Are you saying this baby is Nicola's... Look, Nicola is 9 months old. She's big. She can crawl about. God knows who this is. What made you think it was Robin Tation's child?
It was in a car outside his house. Zosie thought it was his.
Oh, you're useless, aren't you? I mean, you'd think anything was funny. But you'd think murder was funny.
Maybe I would. Maybe I would.
Well, put the radio on. There's bound to be something on the news.
Adam Verne Smith.
Inspector Winder here. Just a few small inquiries.
That's all right.
I wonder if you can remember. It's a long time ago, summer of 1976.
I told you I never lived there. I stayed there a week.
Just a manner of speaking, Mr. Verne Smith. Can you recall ever being called on by some pest control people called Vermstroy?
No, I don't remember.
Biggish dark man with a moustache. We understood he used to destroy vermin for your grandfather, was it?
Great uncle.
Yeah, that's right. Rats and those peculiar things. What are they called? Never mind, doesn't matter. Well, if you can't help us, you can't, and that's all it amounts to. You'll be glad to hear that in any case our inquiries are almost complete. Sorry to have disturbed you.
Aren't you going to say goodnight?
For God's sake, leave me in peace!
He said there was still no information as to the whereabouts of the Highgate baby. And now for the weather. It looks as if the long, hot summer is finally coming to an end.
I'd like to go to Sudbury, please, and buy us some clothes. She needs vests and things.
You're not going to Sudbury. You're going to London to take that baby back.
There's a little local difficulty. We don't yet know who it belongs to.
It'll be in this morning's paper. I'll drive Zosie to Sudbury, buy a paper and find out whose it is.
I don't see why, seeing as I'm not taking her back.
Do you realise it's fortunate it wasn't Mr. Tation's baby you took? The police would soon have got onto us because of Vivien.
My guardian angel was looking after me.
Oh, how about this baby's guardian angel? He was on leave, was he?
I thought you were on my side, Rufus.
Oh, did you now? I'll tell you whose side I'm on. Rufus's. And that goes for always.
Look, Rufus, we've got
Not
to find
we! This is no place for me. Not anymore.
What?
It's time for me to quit. I'll be on my bike in the morning.
Good riddance to bad rubbish. Are we going to Sudbury or not?
What's the matter? Something you've read in the paper?
It says they've identified the bones found at Wyvis Hall. A girl from Noons and her infant daughter. The identification was made by a Mrs. Rita Pearson of Felixstowe.
It says her name's Catherine Rymark.
I know, I've read it.
It says they're launching a nationwide search.
I'm going to drive the baby back tonight. I'll take Rufus with me, seeing as he wants to go.
I don't think you should do that. Not yet. Not till you've heard my idea.
Would he have taken her back?
Oh, yes. He's going back in the van that night. But I stopped him.
What do you mean?
But that would make us real kidnappers. We couldn't do that.
Why not? You have the name, the address, everything. It wouldn't make things any worse. It would take a load off their minds.
What did Adam say?
When I suggested the ransom, he put the cot on the floor and sat down at the table. I told him we should send a letter, cut words out of newspaper and stick them on paper.
We mustn't ask too much. Nothing that will take too long. £10,000 would be about right. Any ordinary middle-class family can raise £10,000 if they have to.
I don't suppose we're an ordinary middle-class family, then.
Adam took the kiddie upstairs again. We cut the newspapers up in the deathbed room, the one with the picture of the dead child. We decided to give the letter to Rufus to post in the morning. When Vivien came in, I let her think that Adam and Rufus had already gone off to London with the baby.
Where was Rufus?
Some pub that was open late. I didn't care. I just wanted to get to sleep. I thought it would all sort itself out in the morning.
Well, it did. And now you blame yourself, because if you hadn't suggested asking for a ransom, they really would have taken the baby back to London.
Yes.
It's in this letter.
Adam is asking the Rymarks for £10,000. The mother's to bring it to Liverpool Street Station, 100 yards along platform 12.
I don't believe it!
Oh, no one will get hurt, Rufus. Adam won't harm the baby.
You're out of your minds!
Rufus! Rufus!
That? Cot death. About 1,000 babies die of it every year. Nobody seems to know what causes it. There is a theory that cot death can be due to fear. The tranquility of routine has been disturbed. The child doesn't see his mother's face when it awakes. God. I've got a sedative I can give Zosie.
You won't go, will you, Rufus? For God's sake. Don't go and leave me with this lot.
They didn't tell me anything. It was as though I wasn't there. I wanted to tell Vivien what had happened, but I couldn't. We just sat in the kitchen cutting up plums for stewing. And I wanted to run away.
Oh, they're full of worms. And the apples have all been eaten by wasps. And all the flowers have dried up. It hasn't rained for so long, the place is like a desert.
It was a dreadful thing, being in the kitchen with Vivien, listening to her talking on and on, so totally innocent of what had happened.
I don't see how I can go to Mr. Tation's now. After all, the Rymarks are his friends. Would be wrong.
Did you try to get Vivien to go?
Where could I take her? Well, that was the trouble with all of us. We had nowhere to go. She tried to phone Tation from the village, but there was no reply. There's nothing for it but to try again the next day. And you know what happened the next day.
I know what happened.
Can you forgive me?
That is for me to forgive you things you didn't do to me.
All right, then. Can you forget?
I don't know. I haven't forgotten.
Put something through the letterbox. I'd better go down.
Don't go.
I have to see what it is. Filthy, disgusting mess, I expect.
There's a strange smell. It's petrol!
What have they done? Oh, hold on fire! Oh, quickly! Lili!
Shop assistant dies trying to save wife. Poor bugger. To think I half hoped the house would catch fire that last night at Wyvers Hall. I didn't want another day to come. I didn't want Zosie to wake up. You've got to get yourself together.
Where's Catherine?
She's in the other room. You've got to leave her there. We have to take her away and hide her somewhere. No! Zosie, she's dead. It wasn't our fault, but we have to look after ourselves. You don't want to get put in prison, do you?
Why have you got the gun?
I thought I heard someone downstairs when it was light, but there was no one. Come on, Zosie. Let's go down. We'll have breakfast. A cup of tea will do you good. But don't tell Vivien what's happened, remember?
What's the matter with Zosie?
She's tired. Had a bad night.
I shall want one of you to drive me down to the village. I should like to phone Mr. Tation.
Why are you still insisting on this? You realise how you're letting the poor man down.
I can't go there. Anything is better than my going there.
I'll take you back to London with me if you like. Do you want to go down to the village now?
The sooner the better, I suppose. I'll just go up and get a shawl. It's got quite cold suddenly.
I'll let her go her own way. I have my future to think of, even if she hasn't.
What the hell's that?
Oh my God!
It's the police!
It's the post lady, for goodness sake! Put that gun down!
I thought it was the police!
And what were you going to do if it was? Kill them?
I don't know.
Oh, Vivien must have found the baby.
Shut up, or I'll kill you!
What are you doing with that gun? Haven't you done enough?
It was cot death, Vivien. It was no one's fault.
I don't believe you.
Why should I tell lies about it? Do you think Zosie would have hurt the baby? She loved her!
Shut up! Shut up!
Put the gun down, Adam!
You've got to be brave, Zosie. We're going to the police to tell them about this. And look, we'll all be how good you were to the baby and how you looked after her, but she just died just the same. Rufus will tell them it was cot death she died of.
You have to be joking.
They think we've done something to her. We could go to jail for life.
We'll go on as planned. I'll drive Shiva and Vivien to Colchester Station.
No, I'm not having anything to do with this. If the rest of you won't go to the police, I'll go alone.
No, you won't. There are 4 of us to 1 of you. We can keep you here by force if we have to.
Take your hands off.
I'm not going to let you put me in prison.
Let me go. You're not going to stop me.
Stop!
Don't be a fool.
Adam, for God's sake!
You've killed Vivien.
It's more than the people in the grave did.
You're right. I don't suppose we've heard the end of it. And I don't suppose that little cemetery will ever be restored.
Oh, how pretty you look, Anne. Abigail's asleep. I don't suppose she'll wake. It's so good of you.
Pleasure.
Come on, then. We might as well go.
It's up together like this.
We're celebrating your birthday by quarrelling in a restaurant instead of at home.
I hate you.
We could put them up among the animals. No one will ever think of looking there.
Let's get it over as quickly as possible.
And then we shall all go our separate ways.
There's just one problem we haven't thought of.
And what's that?
Robin Tation's expecting Vivien to turn up for work as his nanny. When she doesn't appear, he'll be bound to ask questions. And she gave him our address here.
You've got a point there. We shall just have to
I
write...
want Catherine to have my little ring. I want to put it on her finger.
What on earth have you got on? Why are you wearing one of Vivien's dresses?
It's no use to her now, is it?
Just a minute. Robin Tation doesn't know what Vivien looks like, does he?
No. Vivien only met his sister.
And she's gone back to America. So Zosie could go to Tation's and pretend to be Vivien. No one would be any the wiser. You'd like that, wouldn't you, Zosie? A baby to look after?
Nicola? Yes, I'd like that.
Come on, let's get it over with.
A real drink. I mean, I can drink them both if you don't want one.
I don't mind having a drink.
Well, that's all right then. Abs. Well, thanks for sending me the cutting. I recognised your writing on the envelope. Gave me quite a turn. So, it was the Koipu man, they've decided.
Most of that panic was made up by us. And I suppose the police never really suspected us at all. They knew all along that it was the Koipu man.
But it wasn't.
I don't mean that. I mean all that questioning wasn't to find out about me, but about the Koipu man. Only I saw it back to front. My guilt made me see it back to front.
Not that the paper tells us much. The bodies have been identified as those of Zoe Jane Seagrove and her infant daughter. But surely they must have found out that the baby was adopted.
Things have a way of getting muddled after 10 years. I'm not complaining.
And her stepfather, Clifford William Pearson.
The Koipu man. I never knew that's who her stepfather was.
No. He committed suicide in November 1976. A police spokesman said that the Wyvis Hall case is closed and no further inquiries will be made. What do you think made her mother so sure it was Zosie in that grave?
The ring, surely. She put the ring on the baby's hand.
Yes. So reading between the lines, they think Pearson shot her.
She said to me once, he kills little things. He has no mercy. She must have been afraid he would come back and find her.
Which was why she hid whenever we drove through Noons.
Had he been a lover? Was he the father of her child?
Who knows? Another drink?
Oh, no thanks.
I should have expected you to be, well, euphoric, to say the least. Aren't you relieved to be off the hook? This is the end of it. It's over. No punishment. This time society fails to take its revenge.
Oh, I've got away with it. At least I suppose so. I've lost Abigail.
Abigail?
My daughter. My wife's asked me to leave. She wants a divorce. I've been pretty well out of my mind during these past few weeks. All the time I was frightened of losing Abigail, and now she's gone. The only people I ever loved were Abigail and Zosie. I wonder whatever became of Zosie.
She was a disaster person. Well, she's probably on drugs or in jail. I don't imagine she made much of a go of being the Tation's nanny. She wasn't a survivor.
I suppose I forget that it wasn't her in that grave, but Vivien. I forget it wasn't Zosie who died. I think I will have that drink.
How do you mean?
It all looks so beautiful now.
But you said you couldn't bear to stay in the place any longer. You were the one who wanted to put the house on the market. Despoiled was how you described it.
No, I'm not so sure.
Well, they're here.
Perhaps they won't like it.
They're all getting out of a Range Rover. There are an awful lot of them. A bit like the old woman who lived in a shoe.
5 children? She isn't very old.
And another on the way, by the look of it.
Well, they can't all be hers. The eldest girl must be nearly 15.
Better not keep them waiting. What did you say their name was?
I didn't. Latham or something.
We'll run outside. It's such a lovely day. They could have a look round the garden, if Mr. and Mrs. Chipstead wouldn't mind.
Of course. Only they must be careful of the lake.
Oh, Naomi will keep an eye on them, won't you, dear?
Yes, Daddy.
Good girl.
They could go into the wood and pick bluebells.
That's lovely.
Nicola would love that. But I'll bring the baby in with me, if that's all right. I don't like leaving him just yet.
Come on, then. I'll show you around.
Yes, thank you.
And this is the master bedroom.
Splendid.
We call it the Lilac Room.
It's lovely.
Are you planning to live in the country permanently?
Oh, no, we'd keep on our London house. But Rob's got his company in London.
I shouldn't fancy 3 hours commuting a day, though I know some people do it.
If you care to come through here.
Right.
This is the turquoise room.
We've made it very nice. There's a staircase in that cupboard that goes up to the loft.
Absolutely true. There is.
How did you know?
My wife spent some time in this part of the world before we married. You've never been in this house before, have you, Viv?
Not this house, no.
No.
Would you like some tea?
Thank you very much. We must be getting back. Our nanny returns from holidays today. Thank God. I must tell you, we like the house very much.
We love it.
And so I shall be getting on to the agent tomorrow.
Oh, that's very good news.
Good.
You must forgive me, but I never quite caught your name from the chap on the phone.
Tatian. Robin and Vivien Tatian.
And we ought to tell you, we do know about all those grisly things up in the wood. And we don't mind a bit.
I, Siriol Jenkins. Adam, Andrew Wincott. Rufus, Matthew Morgan. Shiva, Tariq Alibai. Vivien, Mia Soteriou. Lili, Rita Wolfe. Mary Gage, Alison Reid. Anne, Mary Chater. Marigold, Theresa Streatfield. Lewis Verne Smith, Tim Seeley. Beryl, Anne Windsor. Alec Chipstead, Terence Edmond. Meg Chipstead, Joanna Wake. Inspector Winder, Jonathan Adams. Robin Tatian, Steve Hodson. With Emma Fielding, Ronald Herdman, and Neil Roberts. Technical presentation by Carol McShane, Rosamond Mason, and Ian Pratt. A Fatal Inversion was dramatized by Michael Bakewell and directed by Jane Morgan.